Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today is going to be the part 3 of our algebra set of series. Today we're going to talk about change of subject. Now this is one of those very important things that you always have to do. Okay, so let me just go through the general steps. We're looking at no fractions. After that, no brackets. You realize this is quite similar to part 2, right? When we do algebraic fractions. So after that, we need to move, or rather group, all the x to one side. I use x as a general letter because change of subject can be any letter they want, right? So whatever letter they want, that's the one that you group to one side, and then you're going to factorize out that variable so that there's only one x now, and then whatever is left you're going to divide to the other side. So in almost all cases, it's going to be these standard steps. Okay, so let's start with a question. So this is question number 1. In this case, I believe they want C to be the subject. So the question has a few parts, but I'm just going to do the change of subject part only. Okay, so our C is over here. So again, there's already no fraction, so it's fine. So I want no bracket, so I'm going to multiply the 9 over 5 into this 2. I'm going to get this. And of course, these two I'm going to simplify to become 25, and then I'm going to minus over. Okay, at this point you see that my C is on one side, so I'm at this stage now. All the C is on one side, and I literally just divide this over to the other side. So a lot of your algebra are not very good. So when I say divide both sides by 9 over 5, it is so I'm dividing 9 over 5 here. So as you learn in primary school, divide by 9 over 5 is the same as times 5 over 9. I just flip the fraction over, and that's all. Another way you can see this is the 5 is in the denominator. I'm going to multiply up. This 9 numerator, I'm going to multiply, or rather cross down. That's why the 9 is now in the denominator. The 5 is out at the numerator. Okay, so that's how you do this. The next question is more common looking. So this will be okay, I want B to be the subject, right? So I see that okay, there's two B's here, so I need to sort of combine them at some point. So again, no fractions. I'm going to multiply this 3b minus 1 over to the other side like this. No brackets. I need to expand this 2 to become this. After that, I'm going to group all the, in this case, B, right? So I need to group all the B to one side. So the B's are here and here. So if for me, I'm just going to minus this over. And then this A got no B, right? So this one comes to the right side at this stage. Then I'm going to factorize X out. So in my case, it's B. Both of them got B. I'm going to take it out. I'm left with this. Then divide over to the other side. So whatever is left, this whole thing divide to the other side, and that's how you get the answer here. So this is pretty standard. This question is a very standard question. If you can do this, that's the basic. Okay, so for the next question, this is the question, and I want X to be the subject. So you can see that it looks like there's a fraction here because it's 3x over 5, but in actual fact this is just 3 over 5 times x. I don't consider this as a fraction because 3 over 5 is just a number. Okay, so in this case there's only one term with x, so I'm going to go for this straight away. I'm going to so-called move all the x to one side, which means I will just minus this 7y to the other side. So I'm at this stage. So again, it's 3 over 5x. So I'm just going to divide the 3 over 5 over to become 5 over 3, and that's it. Okay, so for the next question, I want R to be the subject. So you can see that there's one R here, one R here. So which means we got to group it to one side and then factorize. So I'm going to multiply over. Again, no fraction, right? No fraction. So I'm going to times over. It becomes like this. Here I also times, so it becomes like this. Then I'm going to group, so after that no more brackets, right? I'm going to group all the R to one side. So this 2, I'm going to move it to here. So all the R's are here. Here got no R. I'm going to take out the R's here, left this one, and this whole thing I'm going to divide over. So like this. Okay, so the next question is a bit different. You see a square root here. So clearly we cannot move things around when there's a square root. So my first step is to square square. So it's a bracket square. So when I square this, the square root gets cancelled away. This is the same idea as when I say square root 2 and I go and bracket square, the answer is going to be equal to 2, because the square root, when you square it, it becomes just a number. So the square root disappears. Okay, so I square this, the square root disappears, left this. Here, if I square the whole thing, is 1 square divided by x squared. Okay, so after that, I want y to be the subject, and I see here. So again, there's 2 y's here, so same thing. I'm just going to cross multiply to achieve no brackets. Okay, after that, I want y, right? So after I multiply this, these 2 terms has the y, so this one can go to the right side. I'm at here. I'm going to factorize out the y here. I'm left with this, and then this whole thing divide over to the other side like this. Okay, so the next question, I want a to be the subject, so a will be here. So again, you notice this is the only term with a, so I can reach this stage straight away. So the only a is here, this one goes to the other side, so I'm left with like this, right? After that, these 2 I'm going to times up, the t I'm going to divide down, and that's it. I'm done already. Okay, for the next question, again we have the square root, so clearly we cannot have the square root. We need to square square. Now be careful, when I bracket square the whole thing, the 2 also gets squared. That's why on the left side is k square, no issues. 2, if I square, become 4. This square root, this whole thing, when I square, the square root disappears to become this. And then after that, of course, I'm going to expand like this. So since I want k to be the subject, this 2, I'm going to move to one side, it becomes 5. And then since I already have like this, I'm just going to divide the 5 over. And then it's k squared equal to this. And to get k, I'm just going to square root both sides, so that the k squared become k. When I square root, it must be plus minus, so that's why it's plus minus this. Okay, the next one, for this one, I want x to be the subject. So again, there's 2x here, and again, no fractions, so I need to multiply the x over to become like this. And then I'm going to, no brackets already, so I'm going to group all the x to one side. So there's a few x here, x, x, x. So this one, I'm going to move over to the right. Now I got all the x here. I'm going to take out, x take out, left ABC, then this ABC divide over to the other side. Okay, so for the next question, you see that there's 3 fractions here. So clearly we cannot do much when there's so many fractions. So this 2 needs to combine. So it's sort of like cross multiply, and then the denominator becomes these 2 times together, and then here times here, here times here, I'm going to get this. Okay, then you can notice that here is 1 over y. To get y, I actually just need to flip this, right? I flip, I get y, right? Because it's y over 1. Then, by the same theory, if I flip this fraction, I just need to flip this fraction too. That's why this becomes 2a plus b. Now this is at the denominator. And this denominator, which is a times a plus b, now it becomes the numerator. And that's it. So in this case, I can flip both sides. Okay, so for the last question, we have this expression here. So I want b. So this is actually very simple. B is already here. There's only one b here. So by now you should know that I want to have all the b one side. So this is already one side. This one needs to plus over like this. And since I got b squared, I'm just going to square root both sides. So that's why it's plus minus square root everything here. So, and that's it. So hope you have learned something new today. Thank you and bye-bye.